Lanoguard underbody protective. Obviously when you're using it, you need to be using eyewear and appropriate safety wear, breathing mask. But I want to do a quick video to show you how it applies. The sprayer gives a really nice pattern, and it covers a lot of area really fast. So we can see a dry patch there. And you can cover a lot of area, get good coverage with it. It says on the paperwork that you can spray anything apart from discs and fan belts. So this is the Transit, and we're just trying to make sure that we get as much longevity out of it as we can. So you need to either pressure wash it and let it dry. This one's pretty clean underneath, so I've just been using a scraper, scraping off the loose stuff, especially along the rear axle here, scraping off the loose flaky paint, and then applying the Lanoguard over the top. And it's good for coating brake ferrules, you know, your U-bolts and everything. It's not just about rust proofing, it's also about making sure that everything else comes off. Spare wheels get rusty on these, so I've covered the spare wheel. You get a can and a little spray applicator. You can get a nice little jet. It's quite controllable. You can control little short directed bursts, or you can push it harder and get a much wider spray pattern. Takes quite a while to get everything. I would definitely say do it on a ramp. Don't try and do it on your back. I think you might be wasting your time. I think you'd be better off on a ramp where you can see clearly, you can light it properly, and it's not basically falling off straight into your face. So if you can get access to a ramp, that would be ideal. And I've done this on my classic camper, and it dries to a semi-tacky film. And so far I'm quite impressed with the product. So that's a quick video just to show you how it goes on, how it applies. You can see I've done the wishbones and anything underneath that I feel like might get corroded. So that's Lanoguard. In terms of how much you're going to use, I've used one of those. So it's a big van, and I've given it a good coating. So not too bad, it goes on quite well. The spray applicator works really well. You can squirt it in a jet, quite a long jet, or you can have a nice fan. And I think the applicator works really well. The product itself seems to go in very well. As I say, main things are get the thing up in the air, use a light, ideally a head torch, clean off underneath either with a pressure washer or a wire brush and a scraper. Make sure it's dry before you do coat it. And yeah, you can coat everything except for the brakes and the auxiliary belt. Quite a good way of looking after your vehicle, I would say. A couple of bullet points. Looking at the Lanoguard instruction manual, which everybody reads. They say leave it for 24 to 48 hours before driving. I think we're going to have to operate a little bit of artistic license on this one. It's a really warm day. There's a little bit of wind. It's going to be parked out here for the rest of the day, which will get it to go off hopefully as much as possible. There's not going to be any rain. We're in a nice dry period in Britain, which you don't hear said very often. And ideally they'll give it 24 hours to dry. As I said earlier on, it dries to like a tacky film. You can pressure wash over that after that and it won't come off. The can itself is 60 to 70 quid, which I think is pretty reasonable. It goes in well. You can buy different applicators to get it into the holes in your chassis. I find that just using the jet, like we've gone in here on these holes and just directing the jet around, I found that works pretty well. You get a good spray in there, and you also get a little sticker which goes on your windscreen, and that would seem to suggest doing it every 12 months. So you can write the date that you last did it on your sticker, put it in your windscreen, and then every 12 months give it another spray. I think that's a good idea, purely from the point of view that with all the best intention in the world, it's going to be difficult to make sure you get every last little bit, nook and cranny covered with the Lanoguard. I think it's a good idea to do it every year and just go over stuff that's already been covered, but maybe get the bits that you might have missed before. So I think that's a good idea as well. It's been compared to products like wax oil. And I guess really it's one of those, isn't it? What you prefer and what you want it to do. If, like me, you've got the ability to put it on the ramp and do it once a year, and you're quite happy to do that, then it's probably great. Wax oil takes a lot longer, but it is more of a permanent solution. So 6 of one, half dozen of the other. Personally, I've been quite impressed with this, and I hope the video helps.